a page, when it's pulled out, the book becomes incomplete, right? And user interface is that page, right? It's one small element that kind of works with 10 other elements that will actually make that book work harder or the UX work harder. My name is Shiva Viswanathan. I am the design head and CMO of Catenate.io. We create AI and ML-based products for people to decide on big human life decisions. That's what we do. The title of the workshop is 5 Hypotheses for the Future. I've been doing these workshops for a while right now. The idea is that people need a playbook. People need a playbook now as we go into the future. There are things that we kind of forget, especially students, practitioners, and there is an interesting growth path for us, right? Like we first are, when we were students and practitioners, then we become collaborators, mentors, managers, strategists, and probably become entrepreneurs or so to do things. And there are things that we should never forget. So this 5 hypothesis kind of is talking about a bunch of 5 things that you should probably never forget ever. I think it'll make them stop and articulate. The idea is that it's got stuff for an everyday use as a design practitioner, and it's also got ability to make, if I can use the term, philosophies that will guide you through your design life in one sense. So what it does is that it is able to assimilate or put together a bunch of thought components to create you as a designer in the long run. That's what it is. The seed. It's just a small seed of that planted in them today that will probably work for a long, long time to come. Tools might come, tools might go, including things like AI, but you've got to kind of embrace what you really are, that you can use the tools very well to do what you are doing and what you will be doing forever. So in that sense, it will help for a very long time. It's very good. It's always been exciting because for me, student interactions have always been a point of kind of rethinking what I have to say, and my thoughts are collated in a better way when I'm trying to articulate it for people who will probably use it for better things as they go further. So it was great. It was good. The questions were interesting and it was useful for me. I don't know about them, but it's useful for me. Okay, it's like asking the difference between a page and a book. It's pretty much that. Book is born out of a concept. Book is born out of a story, and book is born out of the world that it's got to build in a certain way, which essentially means for a reader, a book is an experience, right? A book is eventually made of a set of pages that are kind of chapters and pages that are kind of built together to create this world at large. So a page, when it's pulled out, the book becomes incomplete, right? And user interface is that page, right? It's one small element that kind of works with 10 other elements that will actually make that book work harder or the UX work harder. UX is like a book because it's a larger experience. It creates a world, it's cohesive, and it uses multiple sensorial possibilities for human beings to actually experience a product in many ways, right? And interface, which is UI, user interface, is like one node of interaction of sort, which essentially means it could be, I can say it's what you see on the screen. It could be just one screen, but it need not be screen. It could be screen, it could be a voice, it could be gestural, and so on and so forth. That's the difference between a UI and a UX. UX is like a full book, and UI is one page, an intrinsic part of that book. All the projects that I've been working on is experiential projects. It's not non-experiential of sort. I mean, of course, the favorite project that I have done is my own product because I have a full freedom to kind of create that product very well. Incidentally, the product is called as Maya, and you can actually see it. Anybody can use it. It's called web.mayamaya.us. You can see the product, and it's an experience that we've been building for the past 2 years. And that's my favorite, and that will always be my favorite because it's something that I'm building. trained designers, the ability to get trained user experience designers is still a tricky thing. It's still, there are not enough people in the market. So the scope is immense because there will always be a gap. For years to come, there will be a gap because there is a gap between amount of people who are trained and coming out to actually work with business and technology guys, and the number of business and technology teams that are creating products of sort. That is not going to end at all. So I know, at least I can promise, for the next 10 years, there is phenomenal reason for user experience designers to be and do user experience design and be a part of these teams to create products that are contextually correct for us. So one thing that I always tell them is that what does this design course or user experience design course make you do? I think it's three things that you will eventually come out of it. Curious, diligent, human. That's what you will be. It's about an ability to hone your curiosity very well, so that you are kind of curious about every possible experience that you go through. So you look at the elements of it and rebuild it. That's the curiosity. Anything and everything that surrounds us, you've got to be curious about. Diligent, because most experiences are made out of multiple elements. These multiple elements, you've got to kind of think about it. It could be a type, it could be color, it could be age, it could be a human being, it could be the heat, where the person is using it, could be the light situations. And so it's got too many things that are actually affecting the experience. So if you're not diligent in thinking about it, you cannot create great experiences. And the third is very intrinsic to what we do, is human. It's got to be emotive, right? It's got to be deep set emotive needs, and it's got to be looking at an attitudinal behavioral change that can happen to use something or do something that is a need. So it's got to be human. And to be human is to actually observe, immerse and participate and put people before the ideas that you have.